Well, a very warm welcome to our big questions, or should I say our responses to the big questions that you've asked. And today I'm in the beautiful grounds of Laund Abbey, and it is absolutely stunning. Behind me is a pond and a heron has just flown from it, and it reminds us of the wonder, intricacy and beauty of creation and all of God's creatures. You can see there's not a cloud in the sky. It's absolutely stunning here. And that seems a very appropriate place to be, because today your big question was a question about God's creatures. Will animals be in heaven? It's a question that many of us ask. Not just will any animals be in heaven, but of course will our own animals, will our pets, will Snowdrop the guinea pig once again meet me as I find my way into God's glory? And it's an important question. And it's a question that follows up our last question about what heaven will be like. And so today I want us to remember some of the words that we find in Scripture. In 2 Peter 3:13, we're reminded that we wait for a new heaven and a new earth. We're reminded in the Bible that God created everything and loves it and cherishes it and counts it as good. We hear that in Genesis chapter 1. And of course, in Isaiah, we have this wonderful vision of the wolf lying down with the lamb, the leopard with the kids, and the lion and the fatling together, and the child shall lead them. The cow and the bear shall graze, and the young shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. It is a beautiful image, an image of creation, an image of a new creation where there is a new heaven and a new earth. In fact, that's exactly what is talked about in Revelation, a new heaven and a new earth, a place where all God has created is brought into his care and into fulfillment. There are lots of beautiful imagery and artwork that reflect this idea of a new creation, of a new heaven and a new earth. And of course there's wonderful poetry that picks that up. But is it true to say that one day we will meet the creatures that God has made? How does it make sense? How is there room for them all? And of course that depends on a very finite understanding of what heaven is like. Heaven is beyond our understanding, beyond our capacity to hold and to contain, beyond time and beyond our space. But somehow God cherishes us, the material of our world. If that were not so, he wouldn't have come amongst us as a human being made flesh. He wouldn't have redeemed the materiality of creation. It would just be a spiritual thing. And yet we find that he does exactly that. And so when we think about heaven, it can be very easy to think in kind of very simplistic terms about it. And it can be very easy to get overwhelmed with the detail. I don't know exactly what it will look like. I don't know how God will make space for everything, but I do know that if God values all of the material, he values the material and brings that into fulfillment of his kingdom. And so I certainly hold on with faith and trust to the belief that all the created order, all the creatures, all the things that crawl on the ground, all the things that fly in the air, all the things that walk on 4 legs and on 2 legs, are receivers of God's grace, and therefore ultimately find a place in heaven, whatever that looks like.